Hey, NorCal Carters, it is Monday, August 8th. Sorry, my screen got moved around. My daughter's doing Photoshop stuff, and she reconfigured my whole screen. So, yeah, my new date's over there. So it's August 8th, and tonight on our show, we have a panel from ROK representing ROK Sonoma. We have Andy representing FTK, ROK West, Challenge Karting. We may have Garrett Potter chiming in later tonight, but he is in the middle of traveling right now. And of course, we have Ashley. So a few housekeeping notes to get over with real quick. Ashley's going to have some shout outs from the past weekend, but planning ahead, we have NCK Road Racing this Saturday at Buttonwillow. So that's a small go-kart on a really big track. And the top speed in a 125 shifter is approximately 108 to 112 miles an hour. So NCK Road Racing, Buttonwillow this Saturday. And Aluminos. If you're interested in trying road racing, reach out to Rob at Aluminos. He does arrive and drives for the road race groups. He also does arrive and drive for ROK Sonoma. And yeah, so that's this Saturday. And then also the reason we have the panel, ROK Fest West at Sonoma, August 20th and 21st. I'm not going to go blow through it right here in the intro, but we're going to spend an hour on it. So there's open chat lines. If you have any questions for Andy, Steve, chat away. Again, ROK Fest West at Sonoma, August 20th and the 21st. And quick shout outs to Gorilla Barbecue. Thank you for another year of support of NorCalCarters.com. We do appreciate it. And I'm going to steal Ashley's thunder. She has a promo code with Molecule Sports. It's NorCal15. So we'll plug that up as we go. And Ashley, take it away.
All right. Hey, NorCal. So we had the 206 race in Prairie City over the weekend. I am only going to shout out the two senior 206s. I'm a little biased, obviously. Okay, so we had David Vasquez, shouting him out because we're related. Mateo Sandoval had a very impressive run. I was watching him on live timing. Steven Iser, because he was wearing a NorCal Carters shirt. What's up, Steven Iser? I have a spot for you on the seniors show. Hit me up. Travis Mitchell, let's just say #winning. And Josh was there too. That's it.
And Josh was there too. Sorry. All right. Andy, you've been on the show before.
I have.
Give everyone an introduction, who you are, what you do. The stand is yours for 32 seconds.
Who I am, what do I do, where do I start? You know that 30 seconds is enough for that. You know that.
Hi,
everybody. Exactly. Hi, everybody. I'm Andy Seesemann. I've owned and operated Full Throttle Karting and FTK Promotions now for almost 20 years. Yeah, we put on the Challenge of the Americas. We dabble a little bit in California ROK Championships, which has gone, here and there past couple years. We distribute the ROK parts, engines, and the Levanto tires for the West Coast. And we support everything ROK that we possibly can. That's what we do.
And plug your website. ChallengeKarting.com.
ChallengeKarting.com. It's right there, right below my face.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you for joining us again.
For sure.
And next up, another regular on our show, Steve Cameron. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. Thank you very much.
All right.
Steve's camera is way better than mine. He doesn't have the double chin that I do with my camera. I think it's his camera.
I push it up. I do these chin exercises, Andy.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll have to work on it.
Yeah. You'll need to invest in a better Logitech, Andy.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Steve, give everyone an introduction. Who are you? What do you do? What is your karting program?
So Steve Cameron. I promote the ROK Sonoma race program, the series there at Sonoma Raceway. Obviously, we have a 8-race series, which is with 9 events. The last race has always been a double. We are a ROK affiliated series, so all our classes are ROK based. this coming weekend, or the next weekend, August 20th, is a big weekend because we have combined with ROK Fest West. And it's been a little bit of one of those situations where it's been a bit confusing for people because they not sure if it's one weekend, 2 weekends, but just to clarify, it is a ROK Sonoma weekend. ROK Fest West is a part of that weekend. All our races can participate in the series as normal for points, but the big bonus is that everybody that's entered gets to participate in ROK Fest West, and they're eligible for the amazing prizes that they have, which is tickets to Vegas, a chance to go to the Worlds. Andy is there to support it. Entry fees are low. They're the same cost as a club race. So, for us as a series, this is I believe, really a high point of the year. I think we'll get a huge entry. And as Andy knows, developing and pushing the ROK program on the West Coast is a big part of our agenda. Andy does a fantastic job with his series. He's been there to fully support us. He's helped. We put a program together for discounted hotels. Andy's there to supply parts, tires, and actually I supply the fuel. But everybody has pulled together, including ROK Cup USA, to really promote not only ROK Sonoma as a regional club type event, but the fact that we have an opportunity here for everybody in the West Coast to come and participate in something that's got amazing prizes and will really elevate the level of, I believe, semi-national racing here. You're going to have some of the fastest guys, like we talked about, like Isaac and guys like that are coming to this event that are going back east. They're racing competitively in whether it's USPKS, SCUSA, ROK, the Winterfest, all those guys that participate and win there. We got a bunch of those guys coming here. So I believe this is going to really elevate the level of competition on the West Coast.
And then real quick question while we have you up, is all the registration going through the ROK Sonoma website?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly really simple. We try to make it as easy as we could. You just go to Cart Pass. You'll see the ROK Sonoma weekend, and it's got a little slice there that says, ROK Sonoma, ROK Fest West. We did it so you can just simply enter the race. You don't have to buy fuel, tires, or whatever from the promoter, from us. You enter the race. That basically gives you Sunday race and Saturday practice. We're going to do a little bit different this time. We're doing practice on Saturday morning. We're going to qualify Saturday afternoon. We have Friday practice, which is our event, and you can buy that through Cart Pass. There'll be Thursday practice, which is run by Sim Raceway, not Sim anymore, but by Sonoma Raceway. So there's Thursday practice available as well. But we just did it, so I think the senior entry is like $260. It's and I believe the junior is like $230. And do the entry, and then it's a la carte. I mean, you still have to buy your pit pass, but basically, if you want to buy tires from me, fuel from me, oil from me, you can. If you want to buy it from your team, or buy it from Acceleration, or buy it from Andy, that's fine. We don't care. We want people there, and we want to make it as easy as we can.
Perfect. All right, let's bring everybody up.
Oh, is it? It's not started. Oh,
It is started.
No, we're live.
Hi, Kim.
The boss is the boss is here.
The network censor.
That's
Yes.
right. So speaking of race support, Andy, I may have missed it. Are you bringing the parts trailer down?
Yes, Steve and Garrett and I had a conversation. We worked out a program where I could come down and bring the full trailer and obviously supply, tires to all our dealers, including Steve down here and the team. So, it just adds from a convenience standpoint. I mean, it's better for, all the teams and Steve to not have to pay to get all the tires shipped in. But we'll be there to help everybody out. Garrett will be there as well. So if there are any warranty issues, we can handle those. So yeah, we'll be there in full force.
Nice. I was going to call it the rolling bar, but Ashley keeps getting on my ass for not being professional.
Fair enough. After 5, the parts trailer, right? All the parts are down below the counter, and all the bar stuff is above the counter. So
There you go.
At 5 o'clock, below the counter closes, then we go above the counter.
You have cocktails at your trailer?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been there, Steve.
No,
Maybe.
no, I haven't. No,
You might come by once. Yeah, exactly.
But honestly, I mean, yeah, we're joking about it, but that is kind of one of the things that you do at the challenge events. And then, Steve, a couple races ago did the barbecue, and we did some, adult lemonade going on. And it was just a nice time to hang out with people. Normally we just rush away from the track and that's it. A lot of times we're working late, but it is kind of nice just to take a 10, 15-minute break and just catch up with someone you normally wouldn't.
Or 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, it could be that too.
Exactly.
10 o'clock looking for an Italian place.
Yeah, if I've figured out long ago, we can spend as much marketing money as we can, but if I put a couple of bottles of booze in the trailer and invite people over at the end of the day, it's good marketing. So, and we have a good time.
Yeah, it is a good time. And again, it's just nice catching up with people that you normally don't have time to stop in the, at 12 o'clock on a Saturday during practice. Like, hey, what's up? So it is nice.
And everybody knows the rules, right? The first time's free, the second time's free. You come a third time, just bring a bottle and throw it up there. That's all we have.
Plastic bottle, right?
No, no plastic mouthwash bottles of generic vodka. Like, bring something nice. Doesn't have to be a gallon. It could be, a little bottle. That's fine.
All right. So, Steve, really quick, you mentioned the schedule is different, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So, again, I Friday is practice, which we're going to run practice on Friday. Saturday we'll do morning practice, and I haven't finalized. Got to kind of try and look at the details, but I believe somewhere around 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30, we'll turn that into qualifying, and it'll be our normal qualifying routine, which will be all the groups that qualify, 5 laps of qualifying, and what my thought was that really opens up Sunday to give us a little more time to spread the schedule out, maybe finish a bit earlier on Sunday. And same thing, people might socialize a little bit on Sunday afternoon, or those that travel can get home. So we'll do on Sunday.
We have some tickets we'll do a morning to give out.
Yeah, I mean it's tough when you go to these races, you travel. So Sunday morning we'll do a warm up for everybody after qualifying, and then we'll go into our normal, which is going to be 2 pre-mains and the main. And I haven't really decided the length of the races. Some of the masters class is pretty funny. Everybody's begging for shorter races, so maybe it's dependent on the heat of the day as to how long those are. And I also think that it's interesting because sometimes you run the longer races for the final, and I'm not sure that makes the best event or the best show. So sometimes I think, that maybe a little longer pre-main and a little shorter main keeps the racing closer and gets people to the front, makes the battle a bit harder. So I kind of want to look at that a little bit and decide what do I think is the best way to make the racing the most exciting. I mean, obviously we'll have our live video feed again at this event. So part of it is what can we do to make that video show exciting, right? You don't want a 25 lap main, you've got a guy 3 seconds ahead and it's boring as hell. So unfortunately, we don't have yellows. I mean, we just raced in Road America. Andy loves Wisconsin. We just raced there and we were doing them. So this weekend, we had what we believe was a comfortable win with we run a GD14. We had a comfortable win, and all we know is always saying is like, man, as long as we don't get a yellow, we're going to win this race. Well, of course, there's a yellow, and then it packs up the field, and we've got basically a 5 lap, I can say it, Jason, shit fight to the end of the race. We don't get that in karting, so. I worry a little bit that some of these long main races that we do don't really do anything to promote the excitement of the racing. So, maybe I'll shorten those up a little bit to make it more exciting.
I have a suggestion, and I know Andy is going to be 100% on board with this. P-pick, invert the field.
Jason's been dying for people.
Yeah, well,
that's a
I can
topic
tell
for
you
another
with
day, man.
our with the problems we've had with timing and scoring and the loop at the Sonoma track,
We
P-Pick has
have to.
been on the agenda. So, not that we necessarily want it, but it might have been like forced to happen. So anyway, hopefully, as Ashley knows, Ashley, I know you've got so your hair is actually growing back. Actually, after we lost the timing and scoring. So
Hey, Steve, what configuration are we running? And if we're did Jason? Do you have a track map of Sonoma?
I'm looking for that right now. I'm trying to find the brand new one.
It is. We're running national. We're running national with tic-tac-toe, and as everybody knows, tic-tac-toe is
very different,
quite different. So, and my goal, and I guess I can talk about it now, but I haven't actually made it happen, is when we first did the new tic-tac-toe, we worked with Reading. The guys at Reading were gracious and gave us their barriers, and we basically built what we believe tic-tac-toe should be, and we did a race on that, and really it worked well. We had, I think, one incident, and I'm going to tell him, Jimmy the Kid managed to clip the tires and spit into everybody, but really it was uneventful. So the problem again, even with the new tic-tac-toe, the curbs aren't really high enough to stop people getting in the dirt. So there's a little bit of advantage in still cutting those corners. So I'm going to reach out to the folks at Reading again and see if I can't bring some of their barriers down. And my goal would be to put the barriers inside. We have curbing, so it's not like you're going to be right on the barriers, but basically put the barriers inside the curbing to stop people cutting the dirt. And my thought was, this race is a lot about promoting Vegas and the bigger events. So, and you're going to get my promo line. It's a taste of Vegas at ROK Fest West. So,
whoa, there we go.
Yeah,
make the T-shirt. Where's the T-shirt?
He's been working on that.
At ROK Fest West. So the goal would be to put the barriers inside the curbing. It'll give people a sense of going through that. The tunnel effect that you get at the Vegas races. I think they're far enough inside the curbing that you're going to have to try hard to hit them, but of course you can. But that'll stop the dirt spraying all over the track. It'll keep people a little bit tidy, and the new tic-tac-toe honestly makes for really good racing because it opens up another passing zone in, I guess, Maker, if you want to call it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so that's the new shape, and then as you can see in the as you come down the hill, left-hander, right-hander, you can still cut that right-hander, and it makes a heck of a mess, and it forces you to, we've had a few chains knock off and everything else. So I would like to eliminate that and just make it so that we're not cleaning up dirt. The guys who are willing to jump the curbs, bend their chassis, crack their ribs, there's no advantage to them. So that's one of the things that I was hoping to, well, I guess I've already announced it, but now with your show, but a taste of Vegas is what we're looking at through tic-tac-toe.
Nice.
All right. You heard it here. A taste of Vegas. I'm going to write that down. Okay, so we did have a question. Our friend Gear Nuts, Jason did an awesome job at the last race. Don't fire him yet. Some post-race interviews would be cool once they come off the track and pit.
I can answer that. Staffing. We need more guys. We need more cameras, and we need more bandwidth.
But
I can answer that too.
Yeah.
Budget.
For ROK
Budget,
Fest West.
exactly, yes.
For ROK Fest West, I'm going to be doing some post-race interviews and all that good stuff too. So come find me in the pits because I'll hopefully have the cameras.
So
Nice.
we, and as Ashley alluded to, I spoke to Ashley the other day. We're looking at bringing some help for timing and scoring. That will free her up to go out and do a lot more of the live interviews. So pretty much she'll be tasked with the job of getting out there and interviewing people, getting that on our feed, getting that promo out, Instagram, photos, but again, more of the live interviews. So that is something that we discussed last week.
All right. Our friend Barry's listening too from Reading. How many barriers? And let me know when you need them.
There you go. Thanks, Barry.
I have to send the trailer up there because that's what we did last time. And I believe it's, we don't need, I think last time we bought about 200 feet of barriers. I think if we've got 100 feet of barriers, we're mainly looking at the right-hander and a little bit in the second, the left-hander and the second right-hander. So, maybe 100 feet of barriers, and I'll have to send one of my truck and trailers up there probably the beginning of next week to see if we can pick those up. So I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. So we were talking earlier about laps and what we were going to do. Did we touch on that or no?
We didn't. He doesn't know what you're going to do.
We're going to P-pick.
Oh. Well, put it, if you're listening and you have a suggestion, put it in the comments and we'll discuss on if it's a good idea and if we can pull it off or not.
So for those of you that haven't raced under the P-pick system, basically what it is, you draw a number out of a hat, a bucket, whatever. Whatever that number is, that's how you start your first heat.
Steve, just tell me
there's
not
variations on the P-pick. There's variations on this. Like sometimes they'll invert the top 6, the top 10, the whole
and this
field.
Is old school too.
It's very old school. It made for great racing.
I
and
remember
it made for like you guys getting pushed out of the way.
But don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Jason.
I think P-picking is why today's Carter doesn't have the race crap that they used to. True story. So I'm going to pontificate. I'll pontificate
I have an idea for it. But I have to talk to Steve and see if he's down.
Yeah,
first.
probably this event's probably the wrong reason. But I think P-picking should be mandatory at most, if not all, clubs, simply because it's the current situation. The fact that we qualify from day one trains drivers to be able to do fast laps, but doesn't teach them racecraft. It not only teaches P-picking not only teaches people how to pass safely, it teaches people how to be passed safely, because they know that they got the track champion guy or the fast guy behind them that's going to get by them at some point, and at least they have a few laps to follow them. Mm-hmm. If they have that guy in the race, that guy or gal, usually starts 5 rows ahead of them, and they never get to see their line or learn anything. P-picking is a great thing at the club level, for sure.
I agree. And you also have some of those drivers too who are so used to being in the front that when they are in traffic, it's kind of like, oh crap, like what do I do? I'm just used to being in the front. And so I mean, I agree. Yes, I've seen it done well.
ROK
And
Fest
I've also
West, P-pick.
And I've also been on the other end of it too with David, in a sense where it's like, okay, he usually qualifies in the front, let's say, but then with a P-pick, he could pick number 17, and then we're sitting there like, oh goodness.
Well, and then the other thing it adds too is when you pull that P-pick, it's like we're gonna diverge a little bit, but when you pull that P-pick, you're running around the pits before the grid is posted, asking everyone, oh, what was your number? What was your number? And then it's racing. So everyone out there, except for 1 or 2 guys, usually the new ones, are a bunch of liars. So everyone picked like, oh, I picked 50. And everyone tells everyone they picked 50. Then it's like, oh, he picked 1 or he picked 99. It was great.
Let's digress.
Here's my take on that. So I mean, I think there's value in P-pick. Like when I raced Dixon all those years in 80 shifter, that's what we did. Yep. So if we were going to go down that road, I think my approach would be a little bit different. I think that, I look at our series a little bit as we're training some of these kids not only to race well, but also to qualify well, because it's interesting when whether it's, Christian, Stephen, Anthony, any of the boys that are aspiring to be quick and go back east and run some of these races. Let's look at USPKS. It's green, white checker. That's the toughest thing ever to be able to qualify. So I think we need to teach the kids how to qualify. The problem is if you say, one thought I have, okay, let's qualify, and then you invert the second based on qualifying. First race is based on your qualifying. Second race is inverted on your qualifying. If you do that, then you're going to get the parents who are going to teach the kids to, okay, you're going to qualify midfield because that's your best chance of your race. So if we look to that, and I really think that's something for us to look at next year as a development series is, let's say maybe we do qualifying and you get points for qualifying, and they're real points. So there's you don't want to manipulate your qualifying, but it teaches you to be a good qualifier. Then you do that. You do first race is based on, pole is pole, second race, pole is at the back, because that is going to give you two things. It's going to give the opportunity to be a good qualifier. And then the second heat, it's going to give you that experience of racing through traffic. So from my standpoint, if I'm looking at what's the best way to help develop races, I would probably go down that road. And just a quick, back on your note there, Ashley, I would be really interested to see what feedback we get on what's the right number of laps for both the pre-mains and the finals, because, we make that decision. And I don't know if it's the right decision. I mean, a lot of it, I'm going on history. It's what we inherited. It's what people have done in the past. And so I go, okay, you get 2 10 laps and then you get a 20 lap, or you get 2 12s and 25. Is that good? Is that what people want? I don't really know. So, I'm happy to get feedback on, what do people really want? What's long enough? What's too long?
All right. Thanks, Steve. All right. Let's talk about these prizes.
Yeah.
So we have lots of prizes coming up. There's tickets. Let's talk about the tickets a little bit, because some people might not know what these tickets are for. There's 2 different ones. And there's the ticket for, and Andy, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's the entry for Rock Vegas is 1 ticket, right? And then
I don't know like what Garrett's giving away. I don't know what Steve's giving away, but typically, like for my
what does that mean?
My CRC is first place got a full ticket to Vegas, which means they got their entry, their tires, everything. The second person got
everything.
And second person got the entry, but they would have to buy their tires and fuel. And the third person got their tires and fuel, but then had to pay the entry. Now, I don't know. I know Garrett has also put up some cash, right, Steve? He's put some cash.
Yeah, so it is a little bit. It is a little bit big. I'm trying to find the notes.
Yeah, no, he's certainly stepped it up. I think it's awesome that Rock Up USA has added to the kitty. And I know it has a pretty high value for a one race program, so I think it's great.
Right,
so I can run through that a little bit with you if you would like.
Go ahead, Steve.
Me to kind of go through that a little bit. So let me just pull that up for you.
So
if only Garrett wasn't traveling all day and he could be here.
I know.
Just sort of to explain. So when we talk about tickets, we're saying we're giving away, well, Rock is giving away an entry, a full entry to Rock Vegas. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so this is why these prizes are are big deals, because this is what everybody's been warming up for is Rock Vegas.
Right.
So this is what we're giving away at ROK Fest West. And then I believe there's also the other ticket, which we can explain next too.
Right.
To the World Finals. Go ahead, Steve.
So they broke it into kind of 2 groups, because one of the things that ROK, I think, is trying to do, and Andy's a part of that, is, they have, I guess, what they believe are somewhat their club entry level classes, and then, for lack of a better word, the pro classes. So you've got the posting now. So for ROK, the micro, the VLL junior, VLR senior, VLL masters, ROK masters shifter, they will all, if they win, the champion. And just so I can make sure everybody understands that the way it's going to work at Rockfest is whoever wins the main is the champion. It's not points for heats and qualifying. It's the winner. The winner, first, second, and third in the mains. So basically, all those classes, the winner's going to get $1,000 cash plus the entry to Vegas, which includes tires, fuel, and oil. So it's a pretty comprehensive deal. Second place gets the entry ticket, and third place gets the Vegas tire package. In what they want to consider their more pro classes, which is ROK Mini, ROK Junior, ROK Senior, and the shifter category, they're going to get $2,500 plus the entry, tires, fuel for Vegas. Second place is going to get the entry to Vegas ticket and then the tire package. And then the winners of the pro classes, let's say, are also eligible for a ticket to the Worlds in Italy. And, so they could trade that if they want to trade that. Instead of doing Vegas, they could take the ticket to the Worlds in Italy. So
basically they can trade their roughly $1,100 Vegas ticket and their $2,500 for a ticket to Italy instead.
Correct. Yes.
And the ticket to Italy typically includes engine rental, chassis rental, the full. You do have to buy your tires, I believe.
And again,
it's the entry to the race, but it's the use of an OTK product chassis if that's your chassis, and an engine.
And we need Garrett here to kind of explain that, because he, honestly, it's as you know, it's promoted that way. I don't know the details of it. I'm hoping that's what it is, because that's a pretty impressive.
That's typically
prize.
That's what it's always been. That's what
Yep.
our prizes include.
Yep.
Like I said, it's
Yep.
the use of an OTK chassis, a brand new OTK chassis, and an engine, plus your little pit space, and the entry fee to the race.
And it's 30. I think Garrett's his notes. It's like $35,000 worth of awards. But the reality is, a $260 entry fee puts you in line to win that kind of prizes. So I mean, it's probably, I don't know where else, anywhere right now, any series that for that investment, you have the chance of that kind of return.
So what you're saying is there are better odds at ROK Fest West than odds in Vegas.
Odds in Vegas aren't as good as ROK Fest West. Yeah.
Taste of Vegas has the
Another
best
t-shirt. Another t-shirt.
We're a taste of Vegas.
Right. So speaking of the promotion and everything for the event, we were talking about this earlier. You already have a number of our larger Sonoma teams confirmed,
Right.
but you're also doing. I don't know if this is a Cameron Motorsports thing or if this is a ROK Fest West. But any team that travels more than 250 miles, you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So I was thinking about it yesterday. I was thinking, like, with the economy, I mean, obviously with my race team, I travel. I mean, I know what it costs to put my guys on the road. It's horrendous. So I was thinking, okay, what can I do to try to help get other teams to come from Reno, from Phoenix, from SoCal. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal, but basically I put out this morning that anybody that's going to travel more than 250 miles, then they can get a free entry to the race. And that basically covers it. I'm hoping at least their fuel. So we put that out this morning. Obviously I'd like teams that are based a little further away than the Bay Area and what have you to come to this race. So we made that available, and that's just a part of the promotion for ROK Sonoma.
Yeah, and I know that's been one of the things too that you've talked about over the past year behind the scenes. How to bring incentives to the teams to make different series more attractive.
Right.
So it's it's a little bit, and hopefully that encourages more people to travel. And I mean, as we all know, it all comes down to the entry list, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about who's going to race where, and
Yeah.
If the promoters can step up a little bit and help offset those costs.
Right. I mean, I think the thing that's probably under promoted in our series, just because again, Jason doesn't do a very good job,
No.
is our video production. I mean, our ROK Sonoma YouTube channel is awesome. I mean, our races, live feed. I mean, obviously you've got Kart Chaser doing an amazing job with the bigger events across the country, but I think our show is on par with that. Our Jason Laria, who is our producer and puts that program together, does an amazing job. Jason, his commentary is live on that, is better every day.
Getting better.
But, that's huge value. It's funny because we have you talk to our racers and they've got family in Japan. My mother in New Zealand watches the races. When Christian races. It's available to everybody. It's a huge value, and I think that one of the things that we have to offer the races, and and particularly those coming to Rockfest, they're going to get not only the awards, but something they may have not seen at a regional level is live video feed on YouTube, and so we have that available. I guess I can talk a little bit about. We, as Andy knows, the cost of running races at Sonoma is not inexpensive, and so we've worked really hard to generate new sponsors. Jason, we've been worked hard, and the teams, we reached out to the teams and look, we need to get the teams on board. A lot of the teams, whether it's Gary Carlton, Ron White, Nick LeDuc, SSI,
Speed Sense.
Yeah, Speed Sense. They basically, this is the basis of their businesses. So, I reached out to those guys and said, look, you guys have a lot of people that you're associated with. We need to bring some, get people involved, supporting the series sponsorship. And everybody really stepped up. So, we put together, 3 new sponsors already, as Jason's promoting. SSI is promoting the Mini and Micro. We've got OPI Builders sponsoring the Senior 100. Altwell stepped up and are taking care of the Shifter Masters and the 125 Limited. We have 2 new sponsors that I hope to announce this week that will be series sponsors. And they again, they came through associations through the teams that are participating in the series, and they reached out to people that are part of their teams and have put this program together. But we have a new program, which is a coaching program that coaches kids in karting, race drivers. It's a very comprehensive program. They'll be on board. We'll announce that deal. They're going to have some incentives for people in the series to get discounts on their coaching. It helps people make the move if they want to move from karts to cars. So that program will be announced this week, and they'll be on board. We have a company called Titanium, which I can tell you because we've got the program in place now, which is a hydration company. Which is an amazing product, and it's specifically designed for athletes to help you with hydrating before you work out, which in our case is driving the go-karts and through the weekend. So they're going to step up. We're going to do a big promotion with them. They're going to provide products and samples to all the races at the track. Obviously we're going to continue to build on these sponsors, but what's interesting, or what's I think important, is that the fact that the teams that are part of our series have reached out to people they know and brought them into the program to support the program. And one, they see value in it for the people and sponsors that they have, and secondly, they are supporting the series for the growth of the series because it's good, honestly, for the industry and for their businesses.
And that was footage from our live stream from Sonoma. You can find that on the ROK Sonoma YouTube channel.
Did you show me past Steve Peugeot?
Get that one.
No, this was from race number 3.
Oh, he
And
passed
number
me.
19 was holding up the whole field.
Yeah. I was weaving. I was blocking.
You're weaving.
You know, Steve, it's funny you say that your mom watches Christians racing intently. Do you find it weird that the woman that cried when you told her you were going to be a race car driver watches her grandson so intently?
I think she still gets the stomach cramps when she watches him. Yeah. I can tell you a story about my mother in the grandstands at the New Zealand Grand Prix when I unfortunately destroyed a Formula Atlantic in front of her, and pretty much they thought that the worst was was happening, and so ever since that day that that happened in front of her, she hasn't been that big a fan. So.
The worst did happen. You're still in motorsports 4 years later.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's like, oh no, he's gonna be hooked now.
Yeah.
All right. Oh yeah, more footage.
What else you got going on, Jason? Ashley, come on, let's.
All right. Well, that's what I was gonna say. We're kind of waiting for Garrett a little bit. Does anybody have any questions for Steve, for Andy? We've already asked where they like to eat when they travel.
That's my question.
Well, we already did that.
I got a question for Andy.
What's that, sir?
So, Challenge of the Americas next year. I mean,
Yes.
For us this year, Challenge Americas was, I think, bigger and better than the years before. It was an amazing. You had huge entries. You know, Phoenix. All the races were, I think, really strong. Have you set your schedule for that next year, and how's that looking?
So yes, I have dates. I have confirmations with 2 of the 3 tracks. So my dates, I can tell you now. We're moving a tick later. We're going to be the first weekend of February. Oh. We're going to be the first weekend of March, and we're actually going to go April 15th, 16th weekend. We're going to end at Sonoma like we always do. We always have that date. We'll be in Phoenix the second round, and I just have to get the opener sorted here. So
what was that April date?
15th, whatever the 14, 15, 16. Sorry, I'm looking at the calendar over my shoulder where I have it all written down.
Breaking news right here.
Breaking news. I was not expecting this. I literally have a pen in my hand.
Sorry, Andy, but
that's fine. That's fine.
I think it's an important thing. I mean, I think the series is the backbone of what we do on the West Coast. You know,
I appreciate that.
You cannot retire. No retirement.
Who, me? No, I'm not retiring. Heck no. Just because I moved out of state doesn't mean that I retired. I've just moved out of state.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, don't worry. And by the way, after not having pets for the last 25 years, we got a dog, Kimberly. So.
Did you really?
No cats, no chickens, but we got a dog.
Oh, exciting. Oh, yeah, I saw it actually from Pat's Acres, right?
Yep, that's the one I brought home from Pat's Acres.
That's amazing. That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, and I do think it's good that you guys, as you know, your competition, your promoters, you're going for the same racers, that you guys have worked so well together.
We're not competition. We rely on each other. We're this is going to be a big word for you, but we have a symbiotic relationship. My success is Steve's success, and his success is my success. We need each other.
Is symbiotic? Is that with a C or an SY?
Well, in your world, it's parasitic, but in our world, it's symbiotic.
It's been such a good thing for both of your series where you guys have worked so well together.
Yeah.
And I know the teams appreciate it because it's like, okay, numbers, who's going. And those have been some of the bigger races.
Yeah. No, for sure. And, we're working on some exciting stuff about classes for next year. I can't say anything about it yet. I'm probably 3 or 4 weeks out on that. I mean, it's no secret that the 125 tag racing is pretty dismal on the West Coast. I mean, you go, like Steve said, you go east of the Mississippi, and there's 40 carts in the 125 tag classes. You come here and there's 6, or 4 or 3. It's crazy, right? no matter what the engine, it's not ROK, it's not IAMI, it's just the 125 tag is just terrible.
Yeah.
So we're working on a few things for next year and with the schedule, and so between those things, hopefully by September 1, I'll be able to make all those announcements. But you know, I was blessed this year. I don't say blessed. I'm a pushy son of a bitch when it comes down to it. I reached out to Mark Coates from USPKS and the group from SCUSA and Garrett, and we actually got on an email thread this year and banged out our schedule from January 1 to end of April with 0 conflicts, not one. So it's the first time it's ever happened. It's you know, all the credit goes to all the people on the email thread that were able to make it work. I mean, like last year, we got stung a little bit when we were at Sonoma, and there was the warm up race for the SCUSA opener. Right, it was in NOLA the same weekend. So a lot of the teams did split duty. We don't have that conflict at all. So there are 0 conflicts. Now, who knows what happens after May 1, right? Because then everybody's schedules get really, really crowded. But for the first 4 months of next year, there is not a conflict between all those programs. So that official announcement will come out. But I just broke more news to you for the 7 people that are watching right now.
Hey, it's 8 because
okay.
I'm watching it on 2 screens.
All right, perfect.
All right, we do have a question. Do the podium finishers in ROK Sonoma Race 5 get the discount for Race 6 at ROK Fest West? Also, is the IAMI KA 100cc motor available to be used in the junior 100cc class?
Okay, so yes, the Eric, how you doing, Eric? So yes, the discount from Race 5, because the Rockfest race is essentially our ROK Sonoma race. So yes, your discount applies to those. If you have any issues with that, then John Madrigal is helping me apply those discounts or whatever, so you can reach out to John. And the KA 100 motor is eligible for all classes. And as everybody knows, in the senior and masters classes, it's the same. The KA motor runs the same weight as SCUSA, which is 10 pounds heavier than the VLR engines. But in junior 100, the KA is the same weight as the VLR. But I mean, to date, I've had nobody running a KA in junior 100.
It's considerably slower.
Yeah.
Eric, it is considerably slower. So while it is legal, it is not recommended if you'd like to go fast.
So if they're running an IAMI product, are they eligible for all the prizes for Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. I mean, and again, I think that goes back to showing, you know, there's a lot of banter about, you know, who does what and, you know, who's supports what or whatever. But, you know, ROK Cup has been supportive of what Andy and I do, in that, you know, we allow the KAs to run. It's a big part of our field. And, you know, when there was some discussion, as everybody knows, last year that it was going to be VLR only. And I think Andy was probably the guy that did the leg work on making sure that the KAs were eligible for both our series. And ROK Cup made the concession. They allowed the engines to compete in these regional series, and, you know, to the point now where they're allowing them to be eligible for these major prizes. So I think, you know, more power to ROK Cup USA for looking at the big picture and saying, you know, it's not about necessarily, you know, what is important or taking somebody out of the picture that wants to race, but allowing them to come in, allowing them to race, and allowing them the opportunity to go to the big events at the end of the year.
All right. Another question. Does the big Sonoma track share any equipment with the kart track? A couple of fixed cameras at track level would be super on tic-tac-toe and passing zones. So,
No.
Any equipment, meaning like video, no, we don't share.
Mm-hmm.
We also, I think we've tried the fixed cameras and we've liked it, or the consensus was we liked it better with roaming track people.
So it really,
right?
The first question, no, there's nothing shared with the big track. The second part, it really depends on the layout.
Yeah.
The sprint tracks are the sprint layout, for those that don't know, are the tight circuits. Those are very difficult to try to video and for the video guys to track the action, because in the foreground you have one direction, the background you have another direction, and it gets very busy, and it doesn't make for a good production. When tic-tac-toe is passable, we do have guys that do go down there, and they can pick up almost 3/4 of the track from that location.
I will say that one thing that the track does share with us, which I think people don't maybe fully see the value in, is both on our Saturday and Sunday, we have the ambulance, which is advanced life support. That's part of our contract with the track, is that we have to have that safety there. So we have an advanced life support ambulance at all our races. On top of that, we're in communication with the track and their safety team. So should something, sadly, untoward happen, not only do we have the support of the advanced life ambulance, but the track safety crew, which are really experienced guys. They take care of the NASCAR events. They do all the pro racing. They're essentially on call with us as well. So I think one thing that we have through the track is probably one of the best safety emergency response teams at any kart track in the country. And that's available to us. They're on the radio, they're scanning the ambulance. And that's something that, you don't really think about it until you need it. But it's in my mind something that's it's great. It's a comfort deal, and I'm grateful to have that.
All right, last question is for Andy.
Oh boy,
206.
A class that doesn't go
UCLA.
fast enough to need an ambulance.
Josh, babysit your daughter and stop talking.
Okay, let's answer this for him, Andy. How many pre-entries did you get for Pat's Acres for the 206 guys? There you go, Josh. 0. It was promoted on eKarting News. It was promoted on NorCal Karters. 0 pre-entries for 206 for Pat's Acres. Okay, next question.
And look, I don't disparage the LO206 guys. They have great programs, right? They have KPX, they have Tri-C down in Southern California. They have the CKNA program if they want to go national racing, right? There's a lot of great programs for 206. And we tried it for a couple of years. They just, for various reasons, it just doesn't fit in with our program. And it's simply because maybe it's a financial thing, maybe it's a travel thing. But as a promoter, you can't justify if a 206 guy is used to paying X amount, but the other 150 people are paying Y amount. You can't tell those people that they pay less. They're getting the same amount of laps, they're getting the same benefits, they're getting the same track time. So every series can't be everything to all people, and 206 has a lot of great options. It's a great program from the entry level stuff to all the way to CKNA. So there's no room for it in our program, and there's no need for it in our program from both sides of the fence. So once again, feed your baby daughter and be quiet, Josh.
All right.
And for those that think I hate on 206, I own a 206. That's why I drive in the middle of the week.
Well,
but the facts are the facts.
Yours does laps about like a 103, but that's fine. It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing too that I don't think anybody has kind of realized is 206 around Sonoma is you're looking at like lap times in the minutes, right? We don't have the time and the schedule So for the people that are like, oh, we wish we could race 206 at Sonoma, like we are looking and we are like trying to figure something out. But again, yeah, like we need the participation for it to be motivating for us to blow up our schedule. So food for thought, friends.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so ROK Fest West coming to Sonoma Raceway August 19th through the 21st. I'll be there. Jason will be there. Andy will be there. Steve will be there. And Garrett will be there. He won't be traveling, hopefully.
Okay, producer, when you do the pointing, remember everyone else is the opposite way of what you just pointed.
I think about that after.
Yeah.
Or when I watch the replay and I'm like, oh, yeah. All right, so we'll be out there. The party will be happening, ROK Fest West at Sonoma. Any other questions for Steve and Andy? We'll start wrapping up.
Remember us, the Steve. We got the room block, and that room block ends on Friday, this Friday. So if you do need a room, the Nevada Oaks, the Best Western, does have rooms at $199, which, as you know, Sonoma in the summertime is almost $100 more than that. So we were able to get a small room block there. So if you do need rooms, it's rock karting. Call the Nevada Oaks Inn Best Western, but that block is only good until this Friday, and then they shut it down. So don't wait.
So a couple of things on that, Ashley, is like if you go to the ROK Sonoma Facebook page, you'll see the link to the Nevada Oaks, and people can go there, Andy put that program together, which was amazing. And it was a last minute thing that, they were willing to do. So again, that's part and parcel of like traveling to these races. We know is expensive. So we put together the program where, we're offering the deal for the free entry for those that travel. Andy's put a program together with Nevada Oaks for discounted room blocks. We're doing what we can to get people to come. If people are looking for, again, probably the best source of information is Facebook, ROK Sonoma. We put it on Instagram, we put it out there, but I'm not the greatest at, I'll let Ashley, she needs to go to my Facebook page and move all that stuff into Instagram. But again, if people are looking for parking, my email, I'm happy to take calls, happy to take emails. My email, steve@CameronRacingUSA.com. Email me, request for parking, motorhome parking, anything that I can help you with. If you want my cell number, I'm happy to give you that, 707-953-7580. I'll take calls, I'll take texts, whatever it takes to get people in and involved and help people get here. I'm happy to do that, happy to answer the calls. Obviously go to Kart Pass. It's open right now. You just have to enter the race. You don't have to buy tires and fuel and oil. You can go there for $260 and enter the race. So, like I say, if you need anything you need, reach out to us. We're happy to help accommodate people. As far as walk-in entries, I would much prefer you did Kart Pass. As Andy knows, walk-in entries are really, really painful. Yeah. And I can guarantee you it'll be a little bit cheaper if you do it on Kart Pass.
All right. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Andy. You were shouting out Garrett Potter. Hope that he's resting up for ROK Fest West.
All right. And I'm sorry, Ashley, but ROK will be bringing some staff with them to help us. So I believe that the level of officiating, our tech level, everything else will be at a level that's required for the kind of prizes that we're offering. Actually, and a big shout out to Bill McAllister. I don't know if everybody knows, but he missed the last race. He was very, very sick with COVID. Bill, I believe, will be back for this next race. He's doing better. But
who was that substitute race director?
I don't know. He made some bad calls, I think.
I heard.
He made
Carts went
some
too fast
people
for him.
mad.
Maybe he's a
got
better.
lots of complaints.
He's used to LO206s. It's the shifters that get him. They hurt his neck.
What we did all realize is that when Bill's not here, it was a lot of hard work for everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah,
sure.
really early in the morning. Yeah.
Well, and it's definitely a
All
skill
right.
set. Like, I mean, all of every position that people that volunteer get paid for,
Mhm.
it's a special skill set to understand what's going on out there.
The only volunteer is Steve. Everyone else gets paid. I know. how this
Everybody
works.
else is making money. There's one guy that's not. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, karting is a nonprofit business.
All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Jason, are you going to wrap up the show?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll wrap it up.
All right.
All
Dropping
right,
everybody. Steve, we'll see you. We'll be talking soon.
All right. Thanks for everybody. Thank you, Andy, again for all the
Thank you,
assistance,
Andy.
and
Thank you,
thank
Steve.
you,
Thanks,
Ashley.
Steve.
Thank you, Jason. So
Thank you,
Thank-
Garrett.
I'll hang out, Jason, so I can talk garbage to you for a minute.
Oh, are we gonna do the Andy and Jason after hours show?
No.
Okay,
Breaking
I have a
news.
question for you too, Andy. Okay, here we go. Go ahead, Jason. Close up the show.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining this evening. And just remember, if we all get one person in a karting, by next year we'll double.
If you want to come on my show, talk about karting, let's do it. Peace, NorCal.